In other news, entertainment mogul P. Diddy got backlash after he called out white corporations for the treatment of black people. Did y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
He got backlash after calling out white corporations for their treatment of black people. He said, if you love us, pay us. But instead of agreeing with him, some social media outlets and followers actually pointed the finger back at Diddy, claiming he takes advantage of black artists. Reality star and influencer Jessie Wu claimed that Diddy's network Revolt asked her to work for free. Check out what she tweeted. She said, "We cannot keep knocking white folks for their treatment of minority creators while doing the same." Does Jessie Wu have a point? And was Diddy the wrong person to speak on this issue?
Diddy was absolutely the wrong person to speak on this issue. Listen, the lion's share of Diddy's wealth was built off the back of that late 90s, early 2000 bad boy situation that he put together. And Diddy is living high on the hog, and everybody was on that roster is missing side teeth and driving a damn beat up Honda Civic. Okay. You can't name a one person from that bad boy roster that made bad boy what it is that is doing well financially or living like the stars and the legends that they are. Everybody from 112, they around here in these Chitlin Circuit gospel plays. The girl, Keisha Epps, only doing good because she married Mike X. Mike
Omar Epps
was so broke she had to stop being gay and go marry a husband just so she could have somebody to help her pay her bills. The other lady from Total, we don't know what the hell she doing. Craig Mack died with no insurance. We don't know who got Biggie money. Lil' Kim House got bankrupt and foreclosed on. Faith ass was over here on the R&B divas, and now she got to put up with Stevie J shit just so she can out the piss in out of. Shine ass is over in Belize living in the damn hut like the indigenous people. Who got the money? I'ma tell you who got it. Diddy got it. Boom.
Ooh, he ready today. So
Al?
Okay, so I'm gonna disagree with Funky tonight. And I have to disagree with Funky on the conceptual concept that even though Diddy
Not the conceptual concept.
I'm just saying, even though conceptually Funky is 100% right about his treatment of his artists, and that's no secret. But what we do have to acknowledge here is even though that he may not have been the best person to speak on this issue, unfortunately, he is listed on the Forbes top African-American men with a lot of money, who's worth a great deal of money. So with that becomes a voice. And he did need to speak into this movement that's happening right now as it relates to GM and with Byron Allen, Roland Martin, Butch Graves, and all of them calling all of these major corporations to the carpet and saying, listen, African Americans spend millions and millions of dollars with your company, and you do not support them the way you should. There's a difference between being supporting a African American event versus supporting an African American company. So these big corporations are doing what's called Black targeted events for targeted consumers, but they're not breathing life or income into African American companies, and that's where the rub is. So even though it came from Diddy, his concept and what he's talking about is real, and we have to hold these companies accountable for their discriminatory actions in spending in the African American community. Unfortunately, sorry, I totally get what you're saying, but he does have a megaphone right now because he is on the Forbes most wealthy African-American male. So he has to step in that space and he has to stand for the African-American community as it relates to the economy of the African-American.
Well, I think two things can be true at the same time. And I know you definitely support people that are on the Forbes list, especially if they're Black men. You always give them props. You know what I mean? Like it's hard for you to say anything negative about them because you respect that. But there is something to be said about the messenger, and I respect Diddy's grind, but you also caring about your people is caring about who you actually have, worked with or made money off of yourself. Like
That's
what
true.
good would if I brought y'all on here and y'all didn't make any money and I got a huge bag and this show became successful because of the work y'all put in, and I see y'all missing side teeth, missing car payments, not able to have new carpet put in because it's wet and moldy. Al wearing the same suit every week, Funky Dineva not able to get lotion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you would have to kind of give me a little side eye. So though I do respect what Diddy had to say, and Diddy, if you're watching, I respect your grind. You have done a lot coming from Howard University and the things that you've done. You are one of the blueprints. You absolutely are. But with that comes a lot of responsibility of making sure that the people that made us wealthy are good as well. Because then it's like you're practicing what you're preaching, and we need that. So I think you both made really good points. But like it's not good enough to just say it because you have a megaphone. You got to do it and live it, or else it's kind of like do as I say, not as I do. You feel me?
Well, I mean, I totally understand that, but in this case, you got to understand, it's almost like how people can dissect who Martin Luther King was outside of his mission of civil rights, right? What we got to do in this case right now, as it relates to the platform and the narrative around infusing these big companies that have billions of dollars, infusing that billions in money into the African-American community, we got to kind of like sidestep what the truth is around him, and we got to hold them accountable. So as it relates to that, I will defend him for using his voice to make them aware and make them accountable. Now, as it relates to doing, as you say, I totally agree, but let's do that a different day.
But Funky named a lot of people that's struggling.
I mean, real talk, I just guess, and I was gonna be quiet so we can move on to the next thing because we've been on this too long. But the reality of the situation is you can't come to the table and force and tell white people they need to care about us and they need to do this, that, and the third for us, and you ain't even doing it for us when you had the opportunity and still have the opportunity to do so. Like you
wait. Let's be clear. It's not that he didn't do it. He did it. He just didn't do it the way that we expected him to do it or how he should have done it. Let's be very clear. There is a difference here, and you got to know the difference. So even though that those struggling artists that were signed to his label aren't as wealthy because he took the money, he did give them the opportunity to be an artist and to showcase their talents. Okay.
Anyone could have done that. Anyone could have given up to be an artist.
That's absolutely
following your logic.
That's absolutely not true. You use your platform.
An artist is an artist, whether Diddy deem them an artist or not, right?
Absolutely not. So, I mean, we can agree to disagree on this, but as it relates to this subject right here, this is the subject of a bigger issue that happened a couple of weekdays ago. So
moving on.